Tony Danza podcast episode.
Yeah, Tony Danza shows up.
Bringing it back to fucking T Dan's.
Oh, he's JGL's father in the movie.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean,
So I'm drinking a little. We got a special PTC Movie Club episode tonight, so I'm drinking a little themed beverage here. I got Django Unchained. This is
He is silent.
It is silent. That is a good line in the movie. I like when it gets brought back up later in the movie. Belgian style dark ale brew with cherries, aged in oak with Brenden Mices. From 2017 too. I don't think the bottle has the ABV on it, but I'll tell you right now, I've drank half the bottle in.
Yeah, it's
podcast time, baby. Yeah. I will say, Todd, I drank that beer you gave me. Too green for me. Not good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was whatever. Like, it was fine. I would never buy that again.
It definitely has a different taste to most beers out there. You know what I'm drinking right now that's really fucking good is this.
Yeah, you love Equilibrium. Get off that Equilibrium.
Dude, they went down in price. They went down in fucking price. It's crazy.
Yeah, because it's not selling probably. Because nobody fucking wants that.
No
shit.
way. It's definitely. I mean, the stores that in my account, the accounts that I have, it fucking crazy. Like people get like multiple cases a week, and I wish we had this brand because there's definitely a lot of it out there.
I mean, who cares about this right now? Let's get into the meat and potatoes of the show here. Welcome everyone to the Pass Control Podcast, a show where a couple of best friends talk about the latest in video games and nerd culture. Sometimes we have guests, sometimes we talk about beer too much. Either way, we have a new episode for you each and every week. As always, I'm your host, Brenden Groom, and joining me on this lovely Saturday evening is the anime senpai himself, the legendary Mr. Cheese, Mr. Michael Desir. Mike, how are you doing tonight? Mr. Cheese is a deep cut. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I know what you're talking
All
about.
right, I'm just making sure. I'm just making sure. Are you wearing a Mr. Messy t-shirt?
I am.
That's kind of what made me just say legendary Mr. Cheese, because I was trying to figure out what your shirt was, and it led my brain to.
You said Mr. and you're like legendary Mr. Cheese.
I mean,
I'm Mr. Messy. Look at me.
What is it from? What is that thing again?
The Little Miss and
Mr. Men and Little Miss.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I don't know.
Something like that.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Also joining us this evening is the V-Buck villain, Todd Gary. Todd, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. You know what I watched last night and watched in its entirety, both seasons.
Django Unchained.
I think you should leave, or whatever it's called.
Oh,
I think you should leave.
Are you a new fan? Are you a new fan?
Me and Amanda watched. Oh, I already liked what I saw of it, but like me and Amanda watched its entirety last night.
Pretty fantastic.
Oh, it's great.
You're gonna swing down to Dan Flash's this week and get a couple of shirts.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know Tim Heidecker was in a bunch of episodes too. There's one episode when he's at like
I mean, watching the show, are you surprised that he's in
episodes? No, not at all. But like, I didn't know like that the one when they're at the restaurant, and I can't remember what happened in it, but I just remember dying laughing the whole time.
The alien comes out of the wall.
Yeah, yes. The guy comes out and he's like, "Why don't you say that to my face?" So good.
Like a kid.
Yes.
A kid in a sweaty white t-shirt.
It is a very. I feel like it's kind of underrated still. I feel like a lot of people don't know about that.
I think it goes over a lot of people's heads too, though. Like they probably watch 2 episodes and they're probably like, "What is this?"
I don't know if it goes over people's head. It's just I think it's definitely acquired taste comedy.
Yeah, I don't think you can get a lot of people to watch Tim and Eric either. So.
Yeah, exactly. It is definitely in the same.
Similar,
yeah, it's in the same boat where like you're just there are going to be people that just do not like that. Like, for instance, if I watch that show and Jen's in the room, she's like, "No, I can't watch this because it's just like." Not.
Have you ever put it on around it? You should just put it
on all the time. Not a fan. Which fine, whatever. Like you like what you like, and you don't what you don't. But I mean, there's some sketches in there too that I can't like that don't do anything for me either. But I think overall there's some fucking bangers in there. And rounding us out this evening is the Fortnite father, Mr. Dominic 40. Dom, how are you doing tonight?
I took Todd's title.
Oh shit, the Disney daddy. I mean, technically you're also the Fortnite father. I mean, it's not wrong.
Yeah, right. I was gonna say it's probably way more than me.
Interchangeable. Wow, what the fuck did I call Todd?
The V-Buck
villain.
Have I ever called you that before?
No. I was like, okay.
What? Where did that come from?
I have no idea.
I don't know. I guess we're going deep in the Mind Palace tonight. I pulled out legendary Mr. Cheese on Mike, so
It's that Django beer that's fucking you all up.
I mean, this beer is probably like it's been aged in my cellar for 5 years, so it's probably much stronger than it normally is. How are you doing, Dom?
I'm fine. There was a lot of snow today.
Yeah. It's bad out. It's real bad out.
Real bad, Steve.
Thankfully, though, it's not like on our cars though. Like the wind's like
the wind up here
like...
is being generous to where the snow is actually landing at my house. But speaking of Steve, I need to know if anyone else knows this because I just found this information out. I am so confused. Steve Harvey has another show that's like him being like a Judge Judy. Judge Judy type. This is information that we were aware of.
I mean, it's recent. It's a recent show.
I don't understand.
It's not much old. Is it even a year old yet?
I have no idea. But I caught like 5 minutes of it, and I'm like, what is happening? Because it seemed like that, at least, unless I just happened to see like a very not normal situation on that show. The person that was like who's the person that ends up having to pay? Who's like the person that's the wrongdoer? Who's not the defendant?
The
Plaintiff is
the defendant is the person that is being tried. The prosecutor is the...
I don't know. I'm not a fucking... This isn't a law podcast. But the person that like got awarded, like clearly this person took the other person to court, and this person got awarded the money or damages
and they are
or whatever.
The prosecutor.
Sure.
Yeah, Dom, just pick a few good men for your next movie.
Yeah. But on top of the other person having to owe this person whatever it was, like
I'll do My Cousin Vinny.
That's a fucking great movie.
Yeah, it is a great movie.
Marissa Togaway got that Oscar.
Mm-hmm. On top of that person have to owe the other person like $1,000. Steve Harvey's like, I'm also gonna throw in another $5,000, and then like everyone was clapping, including the person that also was paying this person. I'm just like, what is happening on this fucking show?
All right.
So yeah, I don't know. Maybe the play here is like sue Dom for something obviously not real. Get on the show. Dom will quote unquote pay you, and then Steve Harvey will just throw an extra fucking couple bones.
There's a guy I follow on TikTok that's how he became famous. He used to go on those shows, and him and his buddies would work out a whole scheme, and they would go on the shows and fucking sue each other and
scam like the Judge Judy shows.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good flim flam. I'll say that.
Yeah. So I don't know. That whole thing threw me off immensely. I don't know how he got sidetracked. Oh, because Dom said real good, Steve. Anyways.
How did we get sidetracked? Dom made a passing remark, and Brennan's like, wait a minute, the gears are turning.
Oh, I have thoughts. Anyways, so before we get into tonight's episode, which is a special PTC Movie Club episode, so from this point forward, if you didn't see the title of this episode, or you're not sure what's going on, it popped up on Shuffle on your podcast thing. I don't know how podcast aggregators work, because can you shuffle podcasts? I don't even fucking know. I'm assuming you can if you like, I don't know. Anyways, we're going to talk about Django Unchained in entirety. There's no holds barred, so if you haven't seen the movie or you don't know what the movie's about and you want to watch it at some point, you don't want spoilers of any kind, this is your last chance to leave. Otherwise, we are going to...
How no holds barred?
I feel like that's not...
That is... It's a valid question.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be going that no holds barred. I don't think any of us are.
No.
But, yeah, we're going to talk about Django Unchained, so... there's that. But before we get into that, this episode of the Past Control podcast is sponsored by our good friends at Goodnight Fatty. If you're in the Salem, Massachusetts area or the North Shore of Massachusetts on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday evening, you want yourself something hot, something sweet, something tasty, fresh out of the oven, you can head on down to 1 Washington Square and get yourself a delicious fatty. And if you're unaware of what a fatty is, you can check them out on social media at Goodnight Fatty and educate yourself on these tasty, tasty treats. I don't know if you got cookies this weekend, Mike, but there's that French toast one.
I went there yesterday and picked up a flight. I didn't have them yet.
Oh, okay. I'm surprised you didn't dive right into the French toast. That seems like a Mike cookie. That's like a Mike special right there.
I mean, I had gone to Bit Bar first, and then when I was
Mike's
done at Bit Bar,
doing the
I
Salem
walked
Road.
by, and I was like, let me just grab these cookies real quick. And by that point, it was like 10 something, and I think I just got home and fell asleep.
Fair.
Is that what happened to me yesterday? I don't know.
Did you have a puka or something of the like?
I did have a puka. I had a puka and I had a Danky King.
Oh shit!
Ooh,
Mike's fucking living it up right now. So check them out on social media at Good Night Fatty. If you do head down to 1 Washington Square, let them know. Pass the controller sent you. Other housekeeping things. I don't know. We get a bunch of new videos up of first play stuff on our YouTube channel. So if you want to check out the first hour of gameplay for Paparazzi or Nobody Saves the World or Windjammers 2, you can check those out. And since this is the PTC Movie Club episode for January, the next pick is for February, which is Dom's. Dom, do you want to reveal what your movie pick is?
I'll reveal it at the end because I'm
still mulling it over. I threw that curveball at you with all the legalese. You're trying to decide if you want to switch it up to the Ace Attorney.
No, I mean, I already said that my theme for the year. So
wait, you didn't say it on the podcast, I don't think.
I did.
What is your theme for the year?
We're going musicals for 2022.
Oh, that's right. We are going musicals for 2022. Oh, fuck. All right. Well, it is what it is. We're going that route. So,
Little Shop of Horrors, the first pick. Let's do it.
Oh, we did talk about that. Oh, we must have had that conversation though on I think playing Fortnite.
Yeah, I think I mentioned that I was going to be doing this when you picked, but
musicals are literally my least fucking favorite thing. So
says the guy that like La La Land is so good. Whoa.
La La Land is good, but like that's like a rare time you'll get me to say I like musical.
You know what Todd is? Todd thinks he's so movie cultured, but at the same time, he's also like Mr. Oscar bait.
No way. No. Like I just like directors. I'm all about the directors. That's all I care about. I don't give a shit who's in the movie. Just give me a good director.
Who directed La La Land?
Liked, you know why I brought it up? Because you said the thing about Tick Tick Boom.
Oh yeah, well that's another thing that caught me off guard because I watched that boring. I watched that like when I was bored and I was like didn't plan on fucking even watching it, and then I ended up watching the movie more than I put my Switch down and just fucking watched the whole movie.
Yep.
Who directed La La Land, Todd?
The guy who directed what's his name? Fuck.
Yeah. Oh, I watch movies for directors.
Hold on.
Fucking liar.
What the fuck did he direct before that? The movies he's done since then, I haven't been a huge fan of, but the movies previous to that, and now I'm blanking. He did like the Neil Armstrong movie after La La Land with same actor again.
Fucking fake.
Well, tell me what his name is, because now it's going to bother me.
Fake cinema fan, cinephile. I couldn't think of the word.
I need to know what else he directed too. That's going to bother me.
Well, while you're doing that, I guess it's time that we hop right into.
Oh, he did Whiplash. That's why. Okay. Yeah.
Sure. That movie. We can talk about We can talk about how the movie did at the box office. Does anyone
I love how everyone's just blanking on everything they're trying to think of.
Right. I mean, I'm just distracted by this beer, so there's that.
Yeah. You keep saying
this beer's doing work to me, but with a budget of $100,000 dues.
100,000?
100 million.
I was like, no way.
What is happening?
I don't know. I should not drink more of this beer. 100 million.
Completely Unchained right now.
The title of this episode, Brenden Unchained. 100 million. Where do we think it ended up with at the end of its box office run?
I think this was Quentin Tarantino's most popular movie next to Kill Bill in theaters.
Oh, Inglourious Bastards, wasn't it?
Oh, that's true too. I forgot about Inglourious, but this was like in the peak, like of Quentin. I mean, Quentin Tarantino is always like a big deal, but I feel like this was probably one of his biggest grossing movies. That or the three we just mentioned, one of those three right there. But I don't know. I'd say wait, it was 100 million.
100 million.
350 maybe.
Mike's gonna plop his points at 350. Todd?
Oh, 350 was kind of high for a rated R film. I'm gonna stick with it. It's fine.
No, I remember like everyone was seeing this movie. I'm gonna say 400 million.
Okay, all right. Dom, where are you going?
Dom, 401.
Do it.
It's not Price is Right. It's not Price is Right. It's just whoever's closest. 350, 400. 350, 400.
I'm gonna go 375.
Okay, all right.
My man.
Well, you and Mike always give this to Todd for some reason. Todd, I feel like, always gets these with a budget of 100 million, ending its box office run with a little over 425 million. Django Unchained became his #1 movie after Inglourious Basterds. Was the previous holder of his most successful box office film. I don't know if that's changed since 2013. What other movies has he put
up? Once Upon a Time
that could have that I can
probably did pretty well too.
Once Upon
but that movie, like, I feel like this appealed to so many different audiences with like having action and like where I think Once Upon a Time probably
Once Upon a Time 374.
Oh wow, I wasn't expecting it to even be that high. Oh, that was I thought Once Upon a Time was COVID.
What other movies after Django in 2013 would have been something potential
that he did?
Can you just look at directors on here? Is there a way I can just click on his name and see
probably
all of his movies up against each other?
What else has he had since?
I don't fucking know.
The one in the cabin in Hateful Eight, but I don't think that movie was geared to it. There's no way that movie made a lot of money. Probably did like 200 million, maybe max.
So that aside, I do want to. I feel like we don't always really talk about this part for these films, and I feel like probably partially because we don't always pick films that are capable of getting awards or are nominated for awards. But in this specific scenario, Todd and I were having a conversation last night via text about specifically the Oscar nominations and winners for this specific movie. With you look at it, got a Best Picture nomination, which it did not win. It got a Best Supporting Actor for Christoph Waltz, which it did win. Best Original Screenplay by Quentin, which it did win, and then Best Cinematography and Best Sound Editing, which it did not win. How do we feel about none of the other casts even being nominated? Like
Leo. We talked about this last night, but I think Samuel L. Jackson. The fact that he didn't even get a nod for this movie blows my mind because I think he steals that movie.
I guess
little part that he's in.
Best Supporting Actor, would that have then been if it was Leo or Sam Jackson? Like would they have been in that category?
That's tough, yeah, because there's like minimal. Like Leo doesn't come into like the last hour, I think, right? Like give or take.
I'm not gonna lie. When I texted, I don't know if I texted Todd separately when I was watching it or I texted the group. But when I texted Todd, and I was like, "All right, this movie's like pretty good," and he's like, "Oh, where are you? Whatever. Wait until fucking Sam and Leo come in." I'm like, "The fuck you? Where are these people? This movie's I've already watched 2 hours of this fucking movie."
No.
But yeah,
all of the plot doesn't take place until like the last like third of
it.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And it's weird because I do like the pacing of the movie overall. It just I don't know what they could do. It was too long. I don't know what they could take out really.
I don't think you can. I think like that's why I don't mind some movies I mind being long. Quentin Tarantino movies I don't mind being long because the dialogue is always so good that like
he's able to.
You never feel like you're like watching a 3-hour movie, even though it is a 3-hour movie. You know, like it's one of the, like Once Upon a Time is like I want to say close to 3 hours, and there is no action whatsoever in that movie. Maybe till like the last like half hour, and there's barely any in it.
Yeah,
and that movie just flew by for me, and I watched it like back to back.
Like there was a point last night because I watched it last night. There was a point last night where I had made myself a very, very large old-fashioned, and when I got to the end of that drink, I was like, fuck, I really want another drink. I paused the movie. I was like, how the fuck is there almost another hour 40, like hour something left of this movie? And then I made another very strong whiskey drink and finished the movie, and it was a good time. But
I feel like there's so much action in the last hour of the movie, though, it goes very quickly.
Yeah. I mean, I think I think so. Going back to the awards thing, I do think that it is a shame that that none of those other actors, any of them, weren't at least nominated. I feel like
Who else did you want to nominate?
I mean,
Leo and-
I think Leo is, like, for the amount of the film that he is in and the scenes that he are in, like, I think the dinner scene might be the best scene in the movie.
So good. So tense. Yeah, it's just so good.
As far as like acting
People
is
love
concerned.
talking about how he really broke the glass with his hand. He was
I
really
was gonna
bleeding.
say.
Yeah, that's a fun fact I was going to bring up, Mike.
Well, you know what's funny is that Leo won for The Revenant, which is a great movie. Don't get me wrong, but like he all his best films, like The Aviator, and I think this movie, like it's weird that he won for a movie that like is probably like way lower down on the list of all his movies he's done.
But he really fought that bear.
Yeah,
I thought he was good in Inception.
Yeah.
Was he nominated for Inception?
No, I don't think
think
anyone
so.
was.
Was that movie
It
nominated
was
for
good in The
anything? or
Departed.
no?
No, probably for like cinema, like sound
Yeah.
editing or something. You know, like
Yeah,
He
I
was
think
good in The Departed. I mean, that wasn't.
Yeah.
I think with the case of Leo, it was one of those scenarios where it's like, yeah, this dude's been snubbed a bunch. Like, he deserves an Oscar. Let's just give it to him
yeah,
for
that's
this one.
basically what. Yeah,
I think that's what everyone said.
Yeah,
What else was he up against for Revenant? We're getting off topic here, but
yeah.
Yeah, let's find out.
Someone look it up.
I'll look
Yeah,
up.
I don't know. I mean, I think there's a lot of really good acting in the film. I do think Christoph Waltz, winning is not
he killed it.
wrong there. Can
No,
I quickly
yeah,
look to see
100%.
who else was up on that? 2013. He was up against not 2013. Didn't this movie come out in 2013?
2012.
If it came out in 2012, then it'd be 2013's Oscars. But if it came out in
Oh, yeah,
2013,
true.
it's probably 2014's Oscars.
It's not here for some reason.
What was I looking for again? I already forgot.
Who
Here it
did
is.
Leo win
I
Revenant
apologize.
over?
So in 2012, Christoph Waltz was up against Alan Arkin in Argo, Robert De Niro in
Argo,
Silver
fuck
Linings
yourself.
Playbook, Philip
that's-
Seymour
that's-
Hoffman in The Master, and Tommy Lee Jones in Lincoln.
Whoa, that's a pretty tough.
That's a pretty solid group.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like really good.
Yep.
And Robert De Niro was so good in Silver Linings too. That was like after making a bunch of shitty movies, he was finally in like a good movie.
Silver
Argo
Linings,
won a ton of stuff too.
Silver Linings
Yeah,
Playbook is a
Argo,
really
I
good
don't
movie.
remember. I don't know if I watched that whole movie, but
I did watch Argo.
I did watch Argo as well. It's one of the weird movies I
did
watched.
you look up the Revenant thing?
Yeah, so when Leo won for The Revenant, he was up against Bryan Cranston in Trumbo, Matt Damon in The Martian, Michael Fassbender and Steve Jobs, and Eddie Redmayne in The Danish Girl.
Oh, that makes sense. Why?
I wouldn't-
Like, that's not that
The
great.
Eddie Redmayne one is interesting.
That's wild.
But that's
that
it.
whole movie.
So, I guess, I did a lot of reading after this movie because this movie has a lot going on, and I wanted to, like, part of me was like, I don't watch Western movies, so like, I don't really have any of that tie.
Spaghetti Western movies.
I also don't watch spaghetti Western movies. Well, again, I read too much about this film. Quentin Tarantino was clearly very inspired by spaghetti Westerns for this film, but
especially the spaghetti Western films titled
Django.
Django.
Yes.
Django.
But he also apparently said that this is a subgenre that he's created called the Southern, which I don't think ever turned into anything else. But there's a lot
I
of
need to make more than one movie.
yeah, there's a lot of conspiracy around. Like, there's a lot of there's a lot of conversation around this film for, I think, right reasons. I mean, it's a white director making a movie that, is in some regards maybe sort of a blaxploitation film. I don't know if that's accurate or not.
I think it's a.
Actually, I don't. Is Quentin
It's
Tarantino
like-
white?
it's
I don't
like
even fucking know what he is.
He is white.
Okay.
Yeah,
He's white.
I think it's like a. It's like a parody on blaxploitation films,
Yeah.
though. It takes a lot of shots at a lot of stuff.
Yeah. It very clearly. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I don't know if you were going to get to this, but like the scene where they arrive in Mississippi, like before they walk into the like fight house or whatever,
Mhm.
it flashes Mississippi across the screen.
Yes.
And it's a direct shot at Gone with the Wind.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Why is that like
Because Gone with the Wind, like
is
it
that a
like
racist movie?
it
I have
was
no idea.
yeah, so it takes place on a plantation, and it's the same thing as makes light
Glamorizes?
of plantation. Yeah, it like glamorizes plantation life.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Because like famously, I'm assuming famously, I wasn't paying attention to the buzz around this movie at the time, clearly. But Spike Lee had some negative words to say about Quentin and this movie, stating that he would never watch it because it's I don't have the quote in front of me, but it was him basically saying that a spaghetti western, like slavery isn't a spaghetti western, it's the Holocaust of my people. And obviously that is a very, like, you look at this movie and you look at its like use of the N-word.
Well, people have a problem with this. This has been long
Very
before
liberal.
this movie. This has been like the people have had an issue with Quentin Tarantino using this word because it's pretty reoccurring and especially in the movie that I was saying, the one with the one I was just saying was one of my favorite movies. Now I'm completely blanking because
Jackie Brown.
why not? Jackie Brown, yes.
Jackie Brown is a blaxploitation movie, I believe.
Exactly.
And that's a Quentin Tarantino movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's Pam Grier in it, who was like she was in all the black exploitation films back in the day, so it was like another, but like people have always brought issue with that with Quentin Tarantino. It's not like it wasn't new with Django.
Okay.
It was something that's always kind of been on there.
I feel like it's in a lot of his scripts.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, I'm assuming not as heavily used as this movie.
No.
Mm-mm.
But again, I guess my question to the three of you guys is like, so I understand Spike Lee's point. Does anybody think that this movie glamorized slavery?
No, not at all.
No.
It very much glamorized killing slave owners.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
So I guess that's my thing is like, I understand that you don't want to watch it because of the way like I understand your point, but like if you watch this movie, you'll understand he's doing the opposite of what everyone else has done throughout Hollywood's history. So.
Yeah. I think by design this movie is uncomfortable to watch for a lot of reasons.
It's supposed to be.
And yeah, I think that's by design. Like the heavy use of the word, obviously the gratuitous violence against not
that's a Quentin Tarantino thing.
Yeah.
That scene with his wife is just brutal. Like, like when he's like, "Take me," and he's like on his knees begging him before, like right when he's at the big boss or whatever that guy's name was at his farm. Right when he sees the guy and he thinks back. I forget. It's something boss. I can't remember.
Big boss.
It was the Brittle brothers, but I forget which brother it was.
And that seems like
Don John. You're talking about Don Johnson's character? I believe his name was Big Boss or something.
Big Boss. Okay. Yeah. And like when he's like begging him to like not whip her, she's like, because then he knows she's gonna not be able to be like, she's gonna have to be like a field worker. She won't be able to be in the house anymore once he ruins her and everything. And that scene is just like, oh, it's brutal.
Yeah, it's the R on the face. It's the R,
all that.
Which I think stands for runaway. Yeah. But I looked a lot into like the historical accuracies of the film and like if it's based on any reality or characters and stuff. And Django's character is supposedly loosely based on an actual
Boss Reeves
historical. Dangerfield Newby, who was an African American who died he was a member of the 5 Black Raiders, or he was one of the 5 Black Raiders, and he died in Brown's raid, which I think, if I'm remembering this correctly, I read a lot of shit about this, and I don't know if I retained all of it, but if I remember correctly, it was like one of the things that sort of sparked the Civil War, which was they were raiding somewhere in the South to basically take all the weapons and stuff and then arm slaves. But I mean, I read a little bit about Dangerfield Newby, and I don't really understand where the connection is to Django's character. Maybe there's some subtleties or something, or again, I read the stuff through Wikipedia, so it's not like I did like a very academic look up into these characters and stuff. But from what I read through Wikipedia, it didn't seem like there was some glaring consistencies across the movie I watched and what it said about Dangerfield Newby. But that's supposedly, according to Wikipedia, what Django's character is loosely based on. But yeah, I mean, I think you're right, Dom. Going back to the Spike Lee thing, like obviously, Mike is the only person here who's black, so Mike can have a different interpretation of this film than we will. Spike Lee is black; he can have a different interpretation of this film, even though he didn't watch the movie. But I can understand.
Like,
I can understand why he wouldn't watch the movie. But you know, I agree with you that I think it's glorifying. It's. I feel like using power fantasy is the wrong term, but it's like you said, it is glorifying like revenge against white slave owners.
Yeah, it's not glorifying the
other side
of the South, or
yes, yeah. There's also obviously scenes like when the guy is up in the tree and they have the dogs rip him to shreds. There's obviously the fighting scene in. I think it's before they go to Candyland when they first meet up with Leonardo DiCaprio's character. You know, gruesome violence to black people in those scenes.
Mandingo is also a blaxploitation film, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the fights were called the Mandingo fights.
Yeah. So there are those types of scenes. But again, I think that's by design. I think it is meant for a white person to watch the movie and be like, yeah, this is the type of shit that people were doing to other people, that white people were doing to black people. So yeah, I don't know. There's that.
Yeah, that scene though is like, I feel like that scene's iconic when they're at the Big Boss farm and they're looking for the Brittle brothers, and when he's like, I like the way you die, boy, and then that whole scene is just so good. He just starts whipping them and everyone's just like staring at him like, oh my God, what's happening? And it's just, oh man, I'll never forget that scene. That scene is just so good.
Yeah, there are some powerful scenes. I mean, I think part of too, like the scene specifically with the dog is, I think a lot of that scene is built around like Django is making active choices to put up a facade. He's obviously in the Candyland section, like pretending that he is a slave owner himself, or slave trader or slave dealer. I don't know exactly what he's portraying that's what he does.
Yeah.
And he's obviously making these active choices to like
go against his own.
Yeah, like go against his own people. And it like, because I feel like at the core of Django, the movie is actually a love movie, clearly, because it's like Django's quest to rescue his wife. So I like that concept, but I feel like it is a hard, like I try to put myself in those shoes. It's like, would you be able to be in something of a scenario that's that drastic where you need to put aside everything else you care about for one person? You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
Like he could have probably stopped him from killing that guy right there.
But then they would have known.
Oh, 100%. Like that's why he has to do that. But yeah, I don't know. Some of those scenes are really powerful in that regard too, because I try to like think about and dissect that, you know, the quote unquote hero's journey that Django is going under is, I think, rooted in the love for his wife, but also like dabbles with revenge in certain moments where he is clearly, you know, not upset being a bounty hunter killing bad white people. You know what I mean? And there's that constant struggle, especially once they meet. What is Leonardo DiCaprio's character's name? I need to just know what it is.
Calvin Candy.
Calvin Candy. I knew Candy was his last name. I just couldn't remember what his first name was. So whenever they meet up with Calvin, and from that point in the movie forward, there are like so many times where the shot cuts to Django like getting ready to like unholster his gun, because like he's like, I want to fucking kill all these people, but I will not be able to save my wife if I can't do it. I don't know. It's a very interesting struggle to me. Like I don't know.
I suppose what I wanted to do, and I opted not to, was to look up I imagine the German folktale that
Brunhilde?
stuff. Yeah, I imagine it's a real folktale. I want to see what that story actually entailed and how it compared to the story of the film, to see if it's just an adaptation of that as well. I never got around to it, but it was something I was thinking about.
Yeah. I did not look that up. But what other scenes from the movie did you like or not like? What about the movie was
Honestly, anything Samuel L. Jackson's character was in, I thought was just when they pull up to the house, and Samuel L. Jackson just kept on looking at Jamie Foxx.
He was Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, it's just so funny. It's just so good. And Samuel L. Jackson looks like he's 80 years old in that movie. So it's it's just so good.
Yeah, the makeup and prosthetics they put on him, because when he first showed up, I was like, is that Samuel L. Jackson? And then when he starts talking, I'm like, oh, okay, it is. I was like, it didn't look like him right away.
Yeah, he sounds like Uncle Ruckus.
Right.
I did laugh pretty hard because it's been a long time since I watched this movie. I laughed really hard when Quentin Tarantino's character exploded. I just forgot that happened entirely. So when it happened, it was just ridiculous. That's all I got.
Yeah, I mean, I love how violent Quentin Tarantino makes shootouts, and just someone gets shot and it's
the
blood just
at the end was
so
too gratuitous. They just kept shooting that same guy.
I know. It was kind of funny though. The bad people shoot the guy in one leg, and then Django shoots him in the other leg, and it's just I don't know. It's kind of ridiculous. There was a line in that scene too that I also really liked, and now I forget what the fucking dialogue was. The final shootout scene when Django goes back and rigs the place with dynamite.
Say goodbye to Miss What's Her Face.
I thought that was pretty good.
I thought the line when he's talking to Samuel L. Jackson and he goes, "How do you think I look in burgundy?"
Oh, that's pretty good too.
Essentially telling him yeah, I have your master's clothes on. I am in charge here now. Yeah.
Yeah. I was a little confused about the relationship between Calvin and Steven. Is that Samuel L. Jackson's character's name?
Yep. Steven.
Because it clearly seems like there's is it just because he has been working for that family for that long that he just feels really comfortable with him?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. All right. I guess I'm less confused by that now.
And also that scene with King Schultz when he's talking to Leo in the books, the main part when he shoots Calvin. I was I knew that you knew that was coming, and I just was no, don't do it. And
when he turns around and says, "I'm sorry."
Yeah, it's great. It's such a great scene too, and it's it's almost reminds me of The Departed, because I wasn't expecting that's how Leo was going to go out.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those things. I'm oh, whoa, okay, well that just happened. And it was oh.
I do and don't like that scene for a couple of reasons. So what I do like about it is that I feel like it was unexpected. I didn't expect him to shoot him right there. But I feel like the movie does a good job of not being, in really anyway, I didn't think a white savior movie. It didn't seem other than Christoph Waltz's character freeing Django. Outside of that, it didn't seem necessarily Django was constantly being saved by Christoph Waltz.
Remember he kept on Christoph Waltz always handed him his gun and was no, you do it. It's you. This is you. This is all you.
So
it was just because he couldn't bring himself to shake his hand, and that's all it was. I don't even feel like it was a.
I don't know that it was. I understand what you're saying, but it was a character thing. Christoph Waltz wouldn't.
No, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but that's kind of what I like. The thing I'm mad about, I guess, is that Django, I wish, was the person that killed Leo, because I feel like that's what Django.
I mean, he killed he killed
fucking
100
everyone
other
else.
people.
I know.
Yeah. I feel like the Brittle brothers were like more like.
Also, where did all those people come from?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. It turned into Red Dead Redemption.
Walter
There's
Goggins
2
or
cities
whatever.
worth of people like in the house. Like, what the hell?
Walter Goggins was one of those people too, or whatever his name is in real life. The guy.
Yeah,
who
Walter
spent-
Goggins, yeah.
One of the, I think it's one of the Brill brothers was one of the guys from Lost.
From Lost.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay.
He's the
Yeah,
guy who
yeah.
like left the island. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I like.
So
Oh, go
so
ahead.
real quick, while we're talking about like cameo things, the guy at the bar at the Mandingo fight when Django's sitting there like drinking,
Yep.
and the guy gets up to leave and looks at him and he says the D is silent. The guy that he's talking to, the old white guy, is the original Django.
Yes, I did know that he was a cameo. He was actually
Psycho Nero.
originally. We can kind of segue into casting, I guess. He was originally gonna be considered for the role of Leo's character. He was gonna play Calvin.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Interesting.
And then they changed that. Let me pull up.
I feel like Franco Nero would have made more sense as the Christoph Waltz character, but
Let me pull back up the casting.
Christoph Waltz is just so good though. You can't
know.
just especially after Inglourious Basterds. It's like you're in my next movie because Quentin Tarantino usually sticks to like.
he has the same
Yeah.
cast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the same people. I was
He
looking at the
loves-
cast. I remember seeing what's his face? David Carradine, I'm pretty sure I saw was in the cast somewhere.
No, Robert Carradine.
Robert
Carradine,
Carradine. Okay,
yeah.
Robert.
Yeah.
Okay,
But he probably did that because
I think David Carradine's already dead at that point, right?
The
It
final,
was very close.
the final last
2013.
guy,
I think he's already dead.
the final last guy that Django kills. What is that actor's name?
Walter Goggins.
Okay, what else?
Walter Goggins.
What would I know him from? Because he looked so familiar.
Well,
to
the
me.
last guy he kills is Samuel Jackson, wasn't it?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, Walter
he's done a
Goggins.
bunch of stuff. He was in that show on HBO with
Yeah,
Kenny
he's a
Powers,
great character
The
actor.
Principal.
Yeah, but what would I know
Yeah,
him
yeah.
from? I guess
Hateful
probably
Eight,
some random thing.
Actually, that's another Quentin Tarantino movie.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what movies you
I'm
would.
almost positive he probably
touch
showed
it.
up as like a random character in Community.
That might be where,
I feel like
honestly.
I feel
Or
like
maybe
it's like a
Always
thing.
Sunny. I feel
He
like
might
he
have
looks
been in
like
the
an Always
office.
Sunny.
Was he in the office?
I don't think he was in
I
the
don't think he
office.
was in the office.
I can tell you right now what you know.
My office trivia is like too sharp.
He's in Justified,
not
He's
to
in
know that.
Invincible.
Righteous Gemstones, Sons of Anarchy.
Yo. He's in Squidbillies.
Oh, he's in Ant-Man and Wasp.
Oh, that is actually probably why I know his face. Also, fuck Evangeline Lilly.
Yeah, what the
He's-
fuck, man?
She's
That just
like
made me so
crazy
upset.
anti-vax. It's
Yeah.
so
I
aggravating.
knew she was a while ago, but then she just doubled down on it. It's just so weird.
Yeah, she like
Oh, he was
doubled down
also in-
hardcore
He was also
on
in Tomb Raider.
it.
Oh
It's-
yeah, it was. He was in
it's
Tomb
it's
Raider.
probably Ant-Man and Wasp that I'm recognizing his
He
face
wa-
from.
he was-
He's in Ant-Man too. I'm trying to Sonny Birch, but I can't remember. Is he one of the guys? He like works for the FBI or the CIA, maybe.
I think so. And he was in Community.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. He
Yeah,
shows
it
up.
was Mr.
He was.
Stone.
In Ant-Man and the Wasp, I think he's one of the guys that shows up at the end, like in the truck when they shrink the building.
Okay. So back to, I forget why we initially went back to cast. Oh, because the original
Nero.
Django. Yes. So initially,
Russ
before
Tamblyn and Amber Tamblyn.
they are in the film, I don't know who they are, but they are in the film.
Russ Tamblyn is credited as the son of the gunfighter, son of the last gunfighter, which is a character that he played in an old spaghetti western. And Amber Tamblyn is credited as the daughter of the son of the last gunfighter because she's his daughter in real life.
So before Jamie Foxx was cast, I know before the show we were talking about a little of this, where I don't know if we made it onto the podcast or not.
No, I think it was before.
But Will Smith was in talks to play Django, as well as Michael K. Williams. I feel like Michael K. Williams could have fucking nailed this role too. I think he would have.
I feel like
been
they
a good
both could have
Django.
done it. It would have been a different movie.
I don't know. I don't know if I could see Will Smith playing this role. I just don't know if I see that.
Michael
I
Caine
think he could have done it. It would have been a different movie.
I feel like Michael Caine looks too old, even though he wasn't that old. But like he looks like he's like
He does look
late
older.
40s.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Michael K. Williams. I think he's a good actor.
Oh yeah, he's
Like
awesome.
I feel like he can play this role very well. But outside of that, Tyrese Gibson also apparently auditioned for the role, which I'm glad that didn't happen.
Yeah,
That would have been,
thank God,
that would have been
thank
a
God.
film.
That would have been
Yeah.
weird, but I can see it.
Quentin Tarantino loves picking people that careers haven't been going good. He picks like one or two actors for every movie he's in that's having like he brought John Travolta back to life with Pulp Fiction. He's brought like so many actors into his movies that like weren't doing well over the years, and like gave them, even David Carradine, he brought him into Kill Bill, which was like that guy was like known for nothing at that point.
Yeah,
he was known for that fucking martial arts show he did,
Kung Fu.
Yeah. That's pretty, my dad watched that religiously.
That was a good show.
Yeah.
So I mixed up something, but I think we talked about this prior to the podcast, so it doesn't really matter for clarification's sake. But Kevin Costner was in negotiations to play Ace Woody, which is what I initially said the Jonah Hill character was, so I was wrong there. But
weird.
He was supposed to play Ace Woody, who was going to be a Mandingo trainer and Candy's right-hand man, but Costner dropped out due to scheduling conflicts, and then Kurt Russell was cast, but then he also dropped out. And when that happened, they just wrote that character out of the script. And then...
What did Kevin Costner do that was more important than this movie? That's what I'd like to know.
Waterworld 2.
Yeah, it was Superman around this time or no? Was the Man of Steel?
No, actually, I forget what the year was. Was it 2013? Because if it's so, then maybe.
I don't know right now.
2012. It could have been.
Yeah.
Jonah Hill was offered the role of Scott Harmony, a gambler who loses Broomhilda to Candy in a poker game, so I was right about that part. But turned it down due to scheduling conflicts with The Watch. Sacha Baron Cohen was also offered the role, but declined in order to appear in Les Miserables. And then they didn't.
Ooh, should that be my next movie?
And then they didn't recap. They didn't do that scene after that. They kind of just changed that situation. And then Joseph Gordon-Levitt said he would have loved to have been in the film, but was unable to appear because of a commitment to Don John, which we talked about.
Yeah, he directed that. He directed Don John or whatever. Like that was like that was like him.
Does he do movies anymore? I know he has like that whole like thing with like using. I don't really know exactly how it works, but I know he has some company, or he's part of some company that like uses, like, artists can submit work and it gets put into like video games and movies and stuff, and they get credited for it. I forget what it's called. I know he was like really tied into Ubisoft at one point with it. Like people could like submit music and art and stuff like that, and it would get put into like the background of like Far Cry 6 and shit like that.
On his IMDb, everything he's done since like 2020 is TV, and he's going to be Jiminy Cricket in Pinocchio post-production.
Oh, is that they're doing a live action Pinocchio?
I guess so. Yeah.
Dom, how do you feel about that? Are you pissed about this?
No, I mean they're doing all of them.
What's his name?
Tom Hanks is going to be Geppetto, so.
Is that good or bad? I mean, well, I'm only asking because Dom has
Tom
has a Jiminy Cricket tattoo, so clearly Pinocchio means something to him. So.
Well, I was gonna say too, Tony Stark. What's his name? The guy who plays Tony Stark. Why am I blanking?
Robert Downey Jr.
He wanted to make a Pinocchio movie for so long. He was like pushing for it. I remember him being on Howard Stern, and he's like, "Don't laugh at me," and and it just never came through. And now they're actually making a Pinocchio movie.
Remember the one that had JTT in it?
Too. That was Geppetto. That was Geppetto, right? He was Pinocchio in.
I thought the movie was called Pinocchio. I thought it was just called Pinocchio.
Who was Jim Carrey's Pinocchio?
Who is Jim Carrey's Pinocchio?
I mean, Drew Carey.
I don't know what's happening. I don't know what we're talking about.
It's in a film called Geppetto.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's called Geppetto.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
It was called The Adventures of Pinocchio. That was the one with JTT in it.
Okay.
I will say I brought up Dom's tattoos. I want to mention Dumbo real quick. Dom, did I tell you that I watched the original Dumbo recently?
No, you did not.
So I haven't watched this movie since I was a child, because I didn't remember anything about Dumbo at all.
I haven't seen it since then.
And I guess spoilers for Dumbo if you don't want spoilers for Dumbo.
Or 1940s Dumbo.
Yeah, I'm a little aggravated that this motherfucker's name isn't Dumbo and it's fucking Jumbo Jr.
Yeah.
His mom names him Jumbo Jr. and his name is Dumbo because everyone fucking makes fun of him and calls him Dumbo.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm so mad.
I want to see it.
I'm so mad. I'm so mad. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
It's an interesting movie.
I don't know.
I don't know if I like Dumbo or not, but it's fine.
Yeah, I have a hot take. I don't like any fucking Disney movie. Minus like Lion King, all those movies just don't hit me the same way they did when I was a kid. I just had something about those movies.
Yeah,
like I like the more recent ones.
Yeah, you like
God, you were like 15 when The Lion King came out.
Todd likes 2018's Dumbo with
Wait, do you not like the live action Dumb?
With Danny DeVito? And no, that movie was garbage.
I don't know. I've never seen it.
Wasn't that a Tim Burton movie too?
Yeah, it was not good.
That sucks.
Yeah. It had what was the band that did Baby Mine? Arcade Fire. It was a pretty good version.
I don't know if I could name one Arcade Fire song. I have no idea.
I have a bunch of their old albums, and I don't know if I could Leave the Car Running. That's one.
Yeah, do I know any of their songs anymore?
I know
I did. I know I used to like Arcade Fire, but like I liked them in the sense that if I think I had one of their albums or two, and if the song came on, I would listen to it. I think they have a song called Haiti. I don't think I know what it sounds like though.
I don't know. I feel like I want to say I don't know. I'm trying to think if I know an Arcade Fire song. I feel like there's a song maybe called Pepper or something.
They had a song they had a very popular song, and it was in the commercials for Where the Wild Things Are.
Yeah, that was that's what got people to like Arcade Fire for the most part. Like that was
because of Where the Wild Things Are.
Yeah, it was
just
it the funeral?
It was a very mainstream.
Is that Arcade Fire?
I think it was the funeral.
Trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Speaking of music, I just thought the song they played when they're walking, it's like a rap song, and it's like
100 black coffins. I got 100 black coffins.
Right? It's just like I love it. I think it's just so funny that they put that into the movie. But
well, so
the first song is like the original Django from 1960s, and then one of the last songs is
progressively more hip hop as the movie. As soon as it was officially Django's movie, I think after Schultz had died, they changed the soundtrack entirely.
So I believe that song 100 Black Coffins was made for the movie. Rick Ross wrote it for the movie. But also, again, because I read way too much about this film, apparently, I don't know, does Quentin and RZA work together often?
I feel like they have worked together in the past.
RZA's all over the place.
So
people use him for soundtracks and a lot of other.
It seems
Didn't he direct something?
Yes, he did direct something with Quentin.
The drunken master or whatever, where RZA had the man with the iron fist.
Yes,
Quentin was involved in that movie. Yeah.
Yes, and apparently the man with the iron fist was initially supposed to somehow be in this movie. Does RZA play that character?
Yes.
Yeah. So apparently a young version of him was somehow supposed to be in this movie, and it ended up not happening because of scheduling conflicts. But I think the RZA did, help with at least the soundtrack of this film. But apparently also there was supposed to be a sequel or a crossover sequel with Django, and it ended up being The Hateful Eight.
There's a comic.
Well, it ended up being The Hateful Eight. The Hateful Eight, I think, initially was supposed to be either Django 2 or another Western movie where Django shows up.
So Quentin Tarantino has come out and said that he's still trying to make one of the comics that has come out about Django a film, and it's Django and Zorro.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing that. Yeah.
And apparently he's still trying to push that. I think it was a couple years ago.
I just want to see him make the R-rated Star Trek movie.
Yeah,
give me a Quentin Tarantino Star Trek movie.
Would you want Quentin to do a Marvel movie? Would Quentin do a good MCU film?
Absolutely. I would love to see that. If it was the right character.
Punisher? Punisher?
An obscure character. An obscure character. Something that's not mainstream. It's going to be something
he could do a good Punisher film? Isn't Punisher super violent? Isn't that Quentin's bread and butter?
It's going to be PG-13 though. And he won't, he would never do that.
If Quentin Tarantino does a movie, it has to be rated R.
Yeah, and it has to be under his control. He's not going to be no, I'm not doing this, I mean, I don't know. I would love to see him do one, but I just don't think it would work for him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, the last we heard about the Django sequel, Django Zorro was in 2019. It was supposed to come out this year.
Oh, weird.
He said he's only making one more movie because he doesn't want to go down as being one of those filmmakers that at the end of their career they start cranking out duds. And I was like, no, come on, if you have a good movie to make, just make it. Don't fucking go crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like he'd have to make a couple of bad movies to hurt his legacy. Because I feel like at the bare minimum, he's like a cult. Like he has his fans. He's got cult classics.
His quote unquote worst movie is Death Proof, which is not my least favorite movie. And that movie is like so underrated. And Kurt Russell is so good in that fucking movie. And the last 20 minutes of that movie is like amazing, I think personally. But it's a movie
I need to watch Grindhouse.
So
I need to watch both movies in Grindhouse.
So we're getting close to the hour. So before we move on to a few other things, is there anything else Django related that anyone wants to talk about? Good, bad, random, doesn't matter.
Going back to Jonah Hill, the whole KKK thing was pretty entertaining.
No, that was a good scene, I think, to kind of like just make fun of those fucking people. Yeah. Just make fun of those fucking people. Those fucking clowns.
Like that they're all idiots, basically. You know, like it's like
everybody see the Ezra Miller thing?
Yes. Yeah, I sent it to the group, didn't I?
I don't know.
I know you sent it to me, and then I think I sent it to the group as well.
I think I sent it to the group.
Such a strange thing to show up.
He's a strange dude.
I haven't seen anything else happen with it, but I was reading an article that was basically saying that like people are actively looking in to make sure he's okay because they were like he mentioned a very Oh, I didn't know that. I apologize. To make sure that they were okay. And the thing that I was reading was basically saying because they mentioned a very specific like town and chapter that they are getting themselves involved in something. So
did you ever see the video?
Something obviously happened. It's such a bizarre story. Like
someone had shared it
like a random video. Like
I had initially seen it on Twitter because someone retweeted it and it popped up on my thing, and I was like, "What the fuck is happening?"
Did you guys see the Comic-Con video with him too? Like
the what?
With them,
listen.
I know.
I've had a couple beers. It's hard for me. I don't
correct everyone.
I'm 40, all right.
Todd, shut the fuck up.
But no, for real. He throws like someone down to the ground. Like a person.
Was that at Comic-Con? I know I saw something where someone got clotheslined. That much I remember. I did see that from a while ago, and I don't know what happened to that. I feel like it was a big news for a while, and maybe it's because I feel like because I didn't care, I never followed up on it. All right, but this is where we are now.
I feel like the cast of the Justice League is like they all have like strange things. Like all of them have like some.
Momoa's going to be in the new Fast and the Furious. Let's talk about that for a second.
Minus him. I feel like he's the only one who's like somewhat like it's like.
He's fine. He's got a divorce going on, but
I think
he's got a divorce going on. But other than that, he's fine.
Yeah, but I think I saw something that said, and again, I don't follow like celebrity drama. I don't give a fuck. But I thought I saw something that said that Jason Momoa and Zoe Kravitz might be a thing now. So
wait,
there was some.
What?
Yeah, yep.
Wait. No, Zoe Kravitz is like his daughter.
Jason Momoa?
Yeah.
No, she's Lisa. No, he's married to Lisa Bonet.
Yeah, he was married. That's like Lisa Bonet's daughter.
His daughter.
Wait, really? That's fucking real weird then.
That's not.
I did see a weird thing.
That's not a thing.
I did see something about that earlier.
I thought I saw something about that too.
Yeah, it's not. That's.
But is that? Let's say he's potentially getting a relationship with his ex-wife's previous daughter. Is that worse than Gal Gadot singing "Imagine" with a bunch of celebrities?
But he's been around. He's been around Zoe for like a long time, where he's like basically been like a father figure to her, and like Lenny Kravitz and him love each other. Like,
who plays Pepper Potts? Who plays Pepper?
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Is Gwyneth Paltrow usually in Quentin Tarantino movies?
No.
I'm not like I'm not confusing her with Kill Bill. I know that's Uma Thurman. I'm just I feel like you said that Quentin usually reuses a lot of the same actors and actresses. I wasn't sure. I don't know why. I feel like she was one of them. Maybe not. I don't know. So anything else about Django before we sunset this show?
I
I don't know. Did everybody like it? That we didn't really even
loved it. It's top
I'm
tier.
curious
Quentin
to
for
see.
me.
It was Brendan's pick. I'm curious to see what Brendan thinks about the movie.
Yeah.
Well,
Like I think the rest of us have already seen it before, right?
yeah. So
I think
what does
the
everyone else
majority
think
of us
about it?
already
And then I'll give my
Like
final
fifth-
my
this is
final
like
word.
fifth time. It's top tier Quentin for me personally. So.
Yeah, it's still good. I was surprised at how long it was, and even though I did take breaks between parts of the movie, it did kind of fly by, in a sense. I know I was watching the entire movie thinking to myself, I'm pretty sure Schultz's character dies fairly early in the film, but no, it was like roughly
It was like
halfway
3/4 of the
through.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was still just like a lot of movie left after that,
Mhm.
even though a lot of it was essentially just a
Gunfight.
big fight at the end.
So what about the other two? How do you two feel about this film?
What other two? I think it's good.
Yeah, all right. And Todd
I
said
feel
it's
like
top
Mike
tier.
and Todd already said yeah.
Like one of my favorite Quentin movies.
So yeah, I don't know. I feel like
hated it.
I feel like this beer is really fucking me up. I feel like my brain's like fucking from here to Mars right now. It's like fucking insane. So I like the movie overall. I think my biggest concern with the film is probably that it's maybe just a little too long. But after like talking with the three of you about the movie more, it definitely had that effect of, all right, now I can kind of talk through some of the film and see where I stand. And I think overall I liked it. I'm not a big gratuitous violence person, so I don't really care for that in the action scenes. There was actually one of the action scenes that I thought was like really shitty for some reason. Like it just didn't look good. And I think it was one of those final scenes before Django surrenders. It was like in that whole house scene where it was just like
shootout.
Yeah, it was just like messy. It just like wasn't. It just didn't feel like good choreography.
I think that's what they were trying to do. I think they were trying to make
Yeah,
it like a messy, like
it was
scramble,
just
like
nonsense,
just chaos, like he shouldn't have lived, and he's just fucking reaching for guns and fucking just everyone's firing everywhere.
Shooting the sister was also one of those weird like that is.
It was
not
weird because like
how
the
that works.
angle that he shot her, and then she moves at like a 45
Yeah.
degree angle.
I was so glad they did that,
from where he shot
I
from.
love that. I like
That
it was
it's,
nonsense.
it's
but-
not correct science. But yeah, I mean, there are little things like that. And obviously, I said before, the movie by design is meant to make you feel uncomfortable. So I feel like I just kind of, for me, I wouldn't say I'm like I was entertained by the movie. I liked the movie, and I'm glad I watched it, and I feel like I took things from it. But like, I don't think entertainment is what I took from the movie, if that makes sense. But it was good. As someone who has really never watched a Tarantino movie besides Inglourious Bastards, if there are other people listening who are like me, did we make the wrong choice by choosing this out of Quentin's movies to be like our sort of kind of introduction to Quentin's
like if
movies?
you watched other Quentin movies, then you probably would have appreciated this more, I guess. Like dialogue wise, and like Quentin's always been known for his like snappy, quick dialogue. Like Reservoir Dogs is like a perfect example. Like them just sitting around a table at one scene and talking about fucking Madonna and all this other stuff. And he's just a very like. Same with Pulp Fiction. You know, I feel like Pulp Fiction probably should have been the movie, but I don't know if you would have liked Pulp Fiction. I don't think you would have liked Pulp Fiction personally.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. Pulp Fiction had enough jumping around that he may have liked it.
I think the whole heroin stuff was kind of
what would if I was gonna watch a Quentin movie next? What would be the one? Would it be Kill Bill or would it be something else?
No, I would say Once Upon a Time in Hollywood personally, but
Kill Bill is more similar to this. I feel like.
Yes, I think so too, 100%.
But there's two movies, which makes it probably longer than this.
Yeah, but two movies is different. One, almost 3-hour engagement. It's not bad. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just I didn't need 3 hours of this movie. You want to throw a fucking 7-hour extended cut of Lord of the Rings at me, I'm gonna watch it. You throw a 3-hour Marvel movie at me, I'm gonna watch it. But like, I don't know if I need 3 hours of this specific movie, I guess.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
Well, it did feel long, but
Okay.
it went.
Yeah. No, it
quickly,
did go by
so.
sort of quickly. I don't know. Maybe it was the whiskey that was slowing me down. Who knows? Any other thoughts about any of this before we wrap things up?
This is not a complete thought. This is just one of those weird things that I remember reading about a long time ago when
Far, far away.
I first saw the movie in the galaxy far, far away. It just that. How do I phrase this so it actually sounds a lot more interesting than what it really is? How do I do that? I don't think I can. Schultz was a dentist prior to this, and then he's going after the Brittle brothers and Candy. Dentist, Candy, bad for
Brittle,
teeth.
Candy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's actually kind of interesting. Makes sense.
Is that a thing that he usually does with his characters? Like, has like little themes hidden in there?
I feel like probably.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
Do the colors mean anything for Reservoir Dogs?
Reservoir Dogs was all about color, so I can't. I don't know. I can't do his other movies and the snakes.
I think
Snakes and Kill Bill.
Yeah. I'm sure there was something that happened in Inglourious Bastards that I cannot put together right now.
Yeah, I don't know. Christoph Waltz is in that movie too.
He is.
and he won an Oscar for that movie
That's
as
a
well.
bingo.
That's a bingo.
It's like a reward. Oh, you guys didn't talk about all the TikTok shit that came out of this movie.
There's TikToks from
where's
Django.
TikTok?
Well, I guess there's meme stuff. There's a it's like a reward always pops up on TikTok.
I don't
know if I've seen that.
I'm not like
I
Mr.
don't know.
TikTok.
And then-
I'm not on
um,
TikTok. I don't know.
And then Leo at the end of the table with the
that yeah.
That's just a regular meme.
Oh yeah.
That's just a regular. I see that all the place.
I feel like we didn't talk
You
about
had
that.
my curiosity, but now you have my attention. That's another
Yeah.
popular one.
I feel like we didn't talk enough about that. I think some of that's the best act in the movie. Like I liked Leo's character and interacting with those other characters. I liked a lot of the dialogue in those scenes. The dinner scene's so good. When he comes back in with the fucking skull and starts talking about phrenology. I wasn't like super familiar with what phrenology is, and I did a deep dive on that, and it makes sense. It makes sense given the connotations that phrenology has, and like its historical use has a lot of
really connected with Leo's character.
No, I did not. It was just interesting. I was just listen. I read a lot of shit in the last 2 hours.
Phrenology was a Roots album, was it not? I'm just
Yes, I believe so. Yeah,
it
is. It's the one with
It's got
With
like
the
the
skull on the front, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
It's got all the like words.
what's
in
the name of
between
that song?
parts of the brain.
But yeah, pseudoscience. It has history, with being a racism tool and stuff. So I thought it, finding out that deeper context after the fact, I think made that scene a little bit more powerful in how they used that stuff in there. Yeah, I don't know. I also thought it was really weird the way that he kissed his sister a lot.
It was.
The
it
South
was
thing.
weird.
It was.
The
South is
thing,
fucking weird.
I get
I think
it,
that's
but
I think
it's
that's
weird.
just like another shot at the South as well.
It's a shot at the South.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
So
So,
bizarre.
you know.
So bizarre. I don't know. Anyways.
This is another thing that has not much to do with anything aside from our earlier conversation. Does a movie with Leonardo DiCaprio ever end happily for Leonardo DiCaprio?
The
No.
beach.
I don't know what that is. Talk could just be saying a noun, and it could be a movie. It could not be. I have no idea.
I'm thinking about Beaches, which is not him.
No,
he wasn't in that one.
Oh, Beaches, the movie you had to watch in Sister Ruth's religion class.
Also not a happy ending, right?
Yeah, that's
Also not a
very
happy
sad
ending.
I don't know what that movie's about. I skipped that. I didn't have that class.
Someone had AIDS, I think.
No,
Interesting.
you're thinking something different. Did he have AIDS in that? I know they like one of them died.
I don't know. Maybe it was cancer. So,
I think you're thinking of Forrest Gump, all right?
No, I'm thinking about Philadelphia, but that's
Philadelphia.
again not the point.
Everything Tom Hanks says is a stitch. I mean,
I
I don't know what's happening. Anyways,
that was early Family Guy, Brendan.
It was early Family Guy.
you're mixing like stream conversation in with podcast conversation. I can't follow the threads.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I said threads.
How
You
did
said
how
Stitch.
did the Howard Hughes film end?
The fact that he did not win an Oscar for that movie, like the scene where he starts freaking. Do you guys ever see that movie?
No, I don't think so. I watched
man.
bits and pieces of it on TV.
Did anyone
It's-
just see what I
it's
picked
like-
up or no?
No.
All right, I picked up one of the
I
games,
wasn't-
and
I
it
was looking at
definitely
my
went
phone.
on the camera. I just wanted to make sure you didn't see it. All right. Well, with all that being said,
Wolf of Wall Street.
did that
Doesn't
end
he
well
go to
for
jail
him?
then? I don't.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Oh,
what
yeah.
happened.
That guy's
He's
still
still
around.
alive. He's still alive. He makes TikToks.
Yeah, I was gonna say he makes it.
All right, I guess. I'll give it to you.
That brings us to everyone's favorite new segment, which is What's in the Box. And if you're a new listener and you don't know what What's in the Box is, every week at the end of the show, I pull 3 games off of my shelf. The panel here has to listen to me read the back of the box and guess what the game is. Whoever gets it first gets a point. We keep score all year long. And right now, Todd is in first place with 4 points. Dom right behind him with 3 points, plus maybe 1 point. Who knows?
Yeah, but didn't I get screwed with something? I don't even remember what it was anymore.
I don't remember what it was
I
either.
already forgot.
I don't remember what the game was.
I like that the tables have just turned and it's like the exact.
I know. But I don't even remember what the game was.
I don't either.
I don't
I'll have
either.
to listen to the episode and find
I
out.
think you called out a Call of Duty before Brenden actually
Yes.
picked up.
Oh,
on it.
But that's because
That's okay.
because Dom got what was happening. I picked 3
Yeah,
Blizzard.
he had already done
Blizzard
2
activities.
Call of Duties in a row.
Yeah,
Dom understood the assignment. I get it. All right.
Dom was looking for he was playing the metagame. He cracked the code. He deserves the point, in my opinion. Anyways, Dom with 3, Mike with 2, and I got 1 stump. Again, I don't want stumps, but I got to keep track of them. I gotta know when the gang fails. So without further ado, the first game tonight. What's in the box? This spells war. Wow, this is like very difficult to read. This is very bad text. Hold on.
Oh, it's an Xbox 360, Xbox One game.
It looked like a Switch game. I thought.
All right.
It was a
I just want to make sure no one can see this. I just want to make sure no one can see
Unless
this.
he's holding more than one in his hands.
I was holding all 3 in my hand.
All right. Well, there's one of them's an Xbox game.
This spells war. Out of blank and on the run. Fight blanks. I didn't screen these games, FYI. Battle terrifying magical creatures. Use connect to cast spells in 22 unique single and 2-player challenges. And I will say you need almost the full title for this game. There's one thing I'll give you leeway on if you don't get
Made
it.
for Connect. It was made for Connect. Like, could you
Did
play
I
it
say
without
that?
Connect?
Did I say that? I
You
don't.
just-
Do you want me to answer that question?
Oh no, I didn't know if that's what I thought you said.
No, he said that the Kinect was involved, but this could be like
Oh,
an Xbox port.
I mean,
Of a
I
game,
can
like-
look at the. If you'd like me to answer that question, I can answer it as I know the answer. Would the panel like the answer to that question? I'm going to give you the
Sure,
answer.
why not?
The Kinect sensor is optional. I don't know if that helps you. I don't know how that would help you.
It does not.
I didn't figure it would.
It's not Connect Sports.
No,
I guess
there's
that
no
helps.
Magic in Kinect Sports.
This spells war.
WAR.
Out of
like
blank and on the run. Fight blanks. Battle terrifying magical creatures. Use Connect to cast spells in 22 unique single and 2-player challenges.
So I'm gonna ask a question. It's odd. I just need to get some clarification. When you say blanks, blank, are you saying like
Blank
somebody's
apostrophe S
VF
blank.
So it's somebody's whatever.
Yes.
Somebody's blank
Okay.
blanks.
I didn't even know they used the. I thought
Somebody's
Kinect only made
blanks.
Kinect only games.
Huh?
I thought Kinect only had Kinect only games. I don't remember ever
Mass
having
Effect
options.
3.
Oh, really?
Mass Effect 3 had
Oh.
optional. You could command your team to do stuff with the Kinect.
Madden you could play with the Kinect too, I'm pretty sure.
There was a lot of Kinect functionality for a brief window of time.
There's got to be something that you would play too, so it rules out some. I was
I
thinking
mean,
it was a Harry
does it
Potter
have to
game.
be
No.
Does it have to be something I would play?
No,
thinking
he's
it was
playing
a
shit that's
Harry
wrapped
Potter
up.
game or something.
I'll give you a clue. This game is out of the packaging. But does that mean I played it?
my
I don't know. I don't know if it means I
right.
played it.
Might have just installed it to get an achievement for it. And then
I don't know.
away.
Who's to say?
Yeah, I got nothing on this one.
That's all I got for the back of the box. I can give more revealing clues. I don't know if that will help you.
I feel like it will not help me, but I mean, feel free.
I mean, I'll take one more clue, but I think this was probably going to be a stump.
The game I am holding is on the Xbox 360, but this is a multi-platform game.
That doesn't help anything.
It is a game that is I don't know how to answer this actually. It's an EA game.
An EA Magic game that is 2-player, sometimes maybe. You can play with 2 players.
Is it Rabbids?
It is not Rabbids.
You're
That's
out of
also
blank.
not. That's also
Very
not a
important.
full title. You need the full title for this game.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't.
You are
So
out of
I will
blank
say, if
and on the
someone
run.
says like, "Oh, is this a Rayman game?" I'm just gonna say you're wrong. It doesn't mean it's not a Rayman game. I'm just saying you didn't give me the title of this game.
Have I played this game? Has anyone here played this game? Do you
You
think?
said it's an EA game?
It is an EA game. I feel like for some reason maybe Todd has played this game, but I will say this is a game that you should be able to figure it out. All 3 of you.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Is this a franchise?
Yes,
I mean, you
because
don't
he
feel
said he said you have to be specific, which means that there's other games that have a similar
that have the
title.
same title.
That's true. Or maybe it's a licensed game
Mm.
that
It's
has
like
a specific
Magic.
title.
I can't even think of Magic games. Like
Yeah, I would say
Harry
Harry
Potter.
Potter.
Harry Potter games were made by EA, I'm pretty sure.
that's what I'm saying. Harry Potter is like the only thing I can think of. But
But I don't know any of the Harry Potter games.
Harry Potter and the
yeah,
Half-Blood Prince.
I guess Harry. No, it would have to be Deathly Hallows because he would be out of something and on the run from Voldemort's Death Eaters. I think.
It also doesn't matter because Brenden wouldn't have bought a Harry Potter game. So
No, that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah,
You know what?
weird.
Fuck you guys. I'm giving this to Mike because Mike said the title even though he didn't say it. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1.
what? You have a Harry Potter game?
When
That's why I didn't say Harry Potter because I was like,
Yeah, Mike said Mike said the title.
Yeah, but he
I
wasn't
didn't say
guessing
part
that.
one.
But that's why I said you need almost a full title
He said it
because
would have had to-
I didn't
Yeah. He
expect you to say part 1.
Deathly Hallows.
What'd you think of the game? Was it really good?
I don't even
He
know.
never put it in the. He never put it in
No,
the
I
sequence.
did.
There's no way.
That's like a game you probably bought because you had Connect and you were like, I want to see how this works on Connect.
I don't know why exactly I bought this game, but I did play it a little
Probably
bit. It is
Connect.
not a good game. But there you have the first game goes to Mike. I really thought it was going to be very obvious when Mike was asking specifically about the possessive on that. I was like, oh, Mike fucking knows.
Yeah.
And then
No, I didn't.
when you
You
started to
You
break
should've
it,
said, like,
Used.
Guardian Leviosa or
when
something
you
like
started
that.
to break
Or,
it down,
like,
I mean, this spells war. Use a Connect to do 22 spells. I'm like sitting here like, how is no one saying the word Harry Potter right now? Like, how is no one saying
said
that?
it
It made no
Why
sense
is
for you to
it-
have a Harry Potter
He said
game.
Harry Potter early.
Yeah,
I
Todd
said
said it
Harry Potter.
early, and then he immediately said, "There's no way Brenden has a Harry Potter game."
Yeah, why would we think that you have a Harry Potter game?
Listen, this is why this
Context clues.
this is why this game is so, this is why What's in the Box is so good. Is because I really could have anything on these shelves.
Yeah, you have no regard for your cash.
Same. I'm right there with him.
Listen, this is what happens. Game number 2, What's in the Box. Mike takes the first point of the night. No hope left. The world is in turmoil. The blank has spread to epidemic proportions. The bioterror threat looks to lead humanity into a chilling end of days.
Um,
You need the full title for the next 2 games, this and the other game. When all the goodbyes... Oh. You gonna say something? You gonna get a little guess over there?
I was gonna say, is that it? That's all I was gonna. And then you started going.
When all the goodbyes have been said and all hope seems lost, one final struggle begins. Featuring 4 unique scenarios and 4 gameplay styles. Enter the darkest corners of the world alone or with up to 4 players online.
Oh, I feel like this is going to be that Resident Evil game that was something. I can't complete that thought.
What was the first thing you said again? Sorry.
No hope left.
Resident Evil Raccoon City.
That is not a title of a game, a full title of a game, and it is not that game.
Welcome to Raccoon City.
It is not Operation Raccoon City.
What's the name of that game?
Operation Raccoon City. It is not that game.
Ooh, was that the terrible one that we both bought?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
oh, man,
and it's
that's so
funny
bad.
that you said that because that was next to this game on my shelf, and I almost picked it up. But
Does
I had
he have his stuff in alphabetical order?
I do not.
I wish.
I'm not. I don't have. I might do that at some point, but it is not like that currently.
That's too much work.
So the things on my shelf, the only stuff that has any sort of reasoning to where it's stacked on my shelf are the Halo games, the Mass Effect games, and the Gears of War games. So if you want to make the leap anytime I pick one of those, if you think I pulled them all off the shelf at the same time, there's that. Otherwise, the rest of my shelves don't have it. No.
Gears of War Judgment.
The world
ends with you.
No. The world is in turmoil. The blank has spread to epidemic proportions.
That second sentence is what I feel like sounds familiar.
The bioterror threat looks to lead humanity into a chilling end of days.
What year? Can the unanimous everyone say what year?
What year?
Is that the one you want to go with first?
Yeah,
I mean,
I
that's
want to go with
fine.
that.
As long as I get unanimous.
Yeah.
Bioshock Infinite.
Was also next to this game on my shelf, not what I pulled. It's very bizarre. Dom's fucking zeroing in on this. He's gonna get it. He's gonna get it. He's zeroing in. None of the games were related. Or were they? I don't know. Is Bioshock and Resident Evil Raccoon City
I think I would know the back of Bioshock Infinite. I think that would be an easy one for me. Maybe not. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it's the next game I pulled. Maybe I pulled 3 games in order. I don't know. Year. Let me see if I got a year here. It looks like this physical copy for the Xbox 360 says 2004. I feel like that's wrong though.
Oof, that's fucking.
Let me
deep.
Google the actual date for this. Mike's listening to the finger presses on my keyboard to fucking
Zero it in. It's like, all right, how many keys?
2012.
15 characters long.
2012.
Oh, 2012. Okay.
The game I'm holding is on the Xbox 360. This game is
That means there's a
multi-platformer.
license in 2004.
Uh,
I don't know if that helps
ignore
us
the
at all.
2004 because it's very small text. I'm trying to read it without pulling the game all onto the
it's
camera.
connected to something. It's connected to something.
Yeah, I think it's just like the Dolby Digital license or something. It's not important. 2004 does not mean anything to this game. Damn, I thought this would have been, at least guessable. At least, roundabout way.
I'm
Left 4
blanking.
Dead.
My brain's
4 Dead
just not
2.
functioning.
I think Mike said
Good,
Left 4
good
Dead
guess.
2. He is incorrect.
Left 4 Dead.
Incorrect.
I
Jumping on
said
there.
both. I said
Oh,
both.
you did? Oh, okay. I didn't know you said.
Last of Us.
No.
That's a good guess.
Did I not say that I'm
said
holding
it
an
was
Xbox
co-op, right?
360 game?
Oh yeah, you did.
Oh,
You did.
yeah, Jesus.
But it is
Yeah, it's not a good
multi-platform.
guess.
This copy is 2 discs, but the second disc is just the voiceover pack. Probably not a clue that will help you.
No.
Good. Well, it does help me because I was going to say Plants vs. Zombies. I can't imagine
It
it
is-
having a
it
voiceover
is-
pack.
it is
Or
not
maybe
that.
it does.
Plants vs. Zombies
This-
Garden Warfare.
This game
Boom.
is rated M, featuring blood and gore, intense violence, nudity, strong language, and
Killzone?
suggestive themes. Not Killzone.
Wasn't Killzone a PlayStation game?
Yes, it is.
Was it? What was the name of that game?
I'll give you another hint. And this should be a what'd you say?
Said Alone in
Red
the Dark
Faction.
Side.
Red Faction was the game I was thinking of.
I feel like this might be too big of a hint, but I'm going to give it anyway because this episode was mostly about movies and not video games. The franchise that this game is from was mentioned at some point during this episode of the podcast.
Thanks. Good thing I don't listen.
Yeah, I don't listen to the
Todd,
show.
that means it would have been said in like the last 10 to 15 minutes because we talked about
Like I
Django
said.
for an hour.
Like I said, I don't.
Yeah, it doesn't help me. I still don't listen to the show.
A franchise was mentioned.
If I unblur out the one noun that I blurred out, it will
Just do it.
away.
it will
the-
it will
do
give
the-
you the
do the
franchise
sentence with the blur
immediately.
out.
Hold on, I have to
Do
sneeze.
the sentence with the blur up.
Remember last week when he coughed? He burped right into the
Yeah,
microphone?
last week was a lot.
No, that's fine. That's what Howard Stern does that all the time. That's fine.
The world is in turmoil. The blank has spread to epidemic proportions. The bioterror threat looks to lead humanity into a chilling end of days.
Oh, 28 days later.
No.
28 weeks later.
20 weeks later. Damn it.
Dead Rising.
Nope.
Ooh,
Dead
that's
Rising.
a
Dead
good
Rising
franchise.
2.
But we didn't talk about that
28
yet.
days. The rom-com.
Oh yeah, we actually didn't talk about that. What am I saying? Yeah, I keep on forgetting. See, I told you I don't listen.
I think this might have to go on the stump pile, and I really am sad about it.
Yeah.
I thought these were all fucking slam dunks, easy ones.
No, you're just not doing a good job. It's fine. They'll put it in the stump pile. That's fine.
Resident Evil 0.
Resident
Negative.
Evil Code Veronica
Negative.
Resident Evil
1
No.
No.
That wouldn't have been 2012.
remake.
I don't know. I can't think of other franchises that we've talked about that would make sense for this game.
You know?
The fuck did we talk about though?
Well, how funny would it would it be if it was Harry
Bioshock,
Potter
Bioshock
and the
2.
Deathly Palace Part 2? It is not Bioshock.
No, definitely not Bioshock.
Well, we talked about it, so I had to bring the other games up.
Yeah.
I will say no, I guess that doesn't really matter. I don't know what else I can say without just flat out giving you the game.
I don't know. I
So
think you throw it in the stump. Throw it in your stump category.
are we collectively stumping this, or do we have
We
something
say,
to tank
what other
here?
franchises did we talk about?
Here's what I'm gonna say right now is that I don't care if you throw in the stump pile because I feel like even if
I'm gonna be
I feel
so
like
bad.
I'm probably
after
at the point where I would know the franchise, but I'm never gonna know the full title of any game, so I don't really care that much.
Mike,
like,
there's points
I
on the
still
board to
feel
be had, Mike. There's points here.
I still feel pretty good about picking a Resident Evil game.
Mhm.
However, I don't know any of the titles besides 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh wait,
Village.
Resident Evil 5?
No, Mike,
6. Resident Evil 6.
Because Resident
you
Evil 5 had
guys
like.
are so bad at this game.
Oh my god! Do you know that when I just said Resident Evil 5, I pictured 6? I'm such an idiot. Like I literally was trying to say Resident Evil 6.
The
We
omitted.
should have just,
The
we
omitted.
should have just gone through the numbers first. That was so stupid.
I'm surprised you didn't. When you
Welcome to
stopped,
Raccoon City.
when you stopped, I was like, huh? Why are they not saying more Resident Evil games? You didn't even the Resident Evil games that you guys mentioned besides Raccoon City weren't fucking 360 games. You were naming like PS2 games and
I don't know.
Dreamcast
I only
games.
played.
Well,
Leon's
no,
game,
because
and that game was so bad.
Didn't the 1, 2, 3 collection come out for 360? They get remastered for their
probably at some
Xbox
point,
One.
maybe Xbox One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, the final game.
Dom can count on me to do the legwork and pick out something.
Well,
and
that's
then
what I was trying to work on.
you can just work from there.
The final game of what's in the box.
I mean, to be fair, we got to Harry Potter because I said the Harry Potter games are EA games, and you said, well, it's got to be Deathly Hallows.
Yeah.
The final game of what's in the box. There's no, score update. Todd, Dom just joins you with 4 points, and Mike
Well, it's gotta be close now, too,
close
right?
with 3 points.
There you go. So, hey, we're still in the first month of the year. I mean, let's settle down a little bit.
We're about to wrap up the first month of the year, and
Be
we
fair,
haven't.
I'm ahead because I have an extra.
That's true. We also like we haven't even started getting into guest season, so like you're gonna have guests coming
Right.
on stealing those points. So
Fine.
There's no help coming. A massive deep space mining ship goes dark after unearthing.
Dead Space. Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Todd was quick to the draw there.
Yeah.
I had to say 2 just in case because I was like, I assumed it was 1, but
No, it popped into my head like right away. As soon as he started saying, I was like, "Fuck, what's the name of that game? Dead Space."
yeah, right.
That really.
Ironically enough, it's kind of bad because I've been replaying 1 on Xbox recently, so that's the only reason why that like came so quickly.
Mm-hmm. Was the mining ship too big of a giveaway?
Huh? Yeah. Well, okay. My first instinct was going to be to go to Mass Effect, and then you said the mining ship, which
because when you start that game, you like are literally on a ship that's abandoned that like everyone's dead basically, and honestly, that game holds up. By the way, like Dead Space 1, I don't know how old that game is, but that fucking game really holds up well.
The Resident Evil 6 was next to Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City on my shelf. Just coincidentally, I don't have.
I'm just pissed that I meant Resident Evil 6 and I said 5 because 5's a fucking horrible co-op one. Well, no, it was good co-op, but it was bad if you played by yourself.
So this is if things stay this way, this is gonna be a pretty spicy season of what's in the box because as we're closing out January, Todd is in first with 5, Dom is in second with 4, Mike's right there, hot on those heels. Number 3 with 3 points in third place, and
if you keep pulling Harry Potter games, me and Todd are never gonna get them. So.
Yeah, right.
There. I try to keep it in the realm of these are things you can get.
I like that. Keep it crazy. Yeah. Keep it like all over.
Listen,
the place.
A Harry Potter game, like I feel like the back of that box was not super difficult.
You would never own
that's
Harry Potter.
Well, so
that's why. Yeah.
I feel like I shouldn't reveal this tidbit of information, but I feel like I'm gonna plant this seed now. Because I feel like it's going to have ripple effects throughout the season.
No, I think that makes sense because I feel like there's plenty of games that you bought that like you never touched or like.
Well, what I've been thinking about is I'm going to just start buying random fucking games to have on the shelf. So that way you don't fucking know.
You can Google back of the box and like.
We have a long way before at that point, but there will definitely be a point where I am pulling up, digital box art and stuff. Yeah. And, maybe if we're doing like a retrospective episode, maybe we're pulling up.
Yeah, didn't you do 3 N64 games for that episode?
Yes, I did. I pulled those up for that. So, I could see at some point, maybe we're talking about Pokemon this episode. Maybe I'm pulling up fucking, a Game Boy back of the box. Who knows? Who's to say? You never know. But I want to keep everyone on their toes. But I guess that's where we'll call it for the evening. So thank you all so much for listening to this week's episode 1. Nope. I looked at the clock and not at the actual number of the episode, which is 297. Thank you for listening to episode 297 of the Pass Control Podcast. Actually, what am I doing? PTC Movie Club February. Dom, what is your pick?
So
I'll do it.
I think my plan is, so I had promised that I would try to keep them somewhat like nerdy going forward.
Okay.
They're all going to be musicals. So I think for my first pick, I'm going to go with a film that has the actor cast as Wolverine.
Greatest Showman. I knew you were going to pick that movie. I fucking knew it. God damn it.
This is the greatest show.
I knew it. To be fair, I could have gone Les Mis, but it's going to be the Greatest Showman.
Amanda's all excited. She just went like this, just like because she's never seen it.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Have any of you guys seen it?
No.
I have not.
I just know Zendaya's in it.
Yeah. Yep. And Zendaya. That was going to be my next acting pick, but
so I'll see it because of Zendaya, and that's it.
It's pretty good. It tells the embellished story of P.T. Barnum.
Okay.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So
before you even said, when you said you were doing musicals, I knew that I
saw you go back and I was like, does he already know what I'm gonna pick?
I had that thought, but yeah, I'm actually surprised.
But yes, it has some earworms in it. It's got some actors that we care about. So
cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm excited.
February's pick, Greatest Showman.
Greatest Showman for February. So if you're new to the show, we'll watch that movie this coming up in February, and we'll talk about it in the last episode of February. So if you want to,
let's see where it's streaming.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Mike. Look that up.
It'll be streaming on Disney Plus.
Oh, is it a Disney movie?
It's a Fox movie.
Gotcha.
Okay. Well, then there you go.
There you go.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it is
I think
on Disney
It's
Plus.
on Hulu too if you have a premium.
Well, there you go. So, like I said, thank you all so much for listening to this week's episode 297. If you're a friend of the show, fan of the show, you want to help support the show, you can do that in a bunch of different ways. The easiest way and the freest way to do that is to share us on social media, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever podcast reviews are able to be left, and follow us on social media. Follow us on Twitch, where whatever you want to do. I don't know. This beer is kicking in. I don't really care. I do care, but also, do you? I don't. It's not up to me. I don't make your decisions. You can follow us at Pass Controller. You can follow me at BGroom. You can follow Mike at _MikeOpath. You can follow Todd at Toddy_by_nature. And you can follow Dom at PTC_1Little_spark. And again, thank you all so much for listening to this week's episode 297. Until next time.